everyone, and welcome to part 5 of decorating the nature lab book. I start off by decorating the first part of the folio, like the front part. There are a few areas that are a bit bare in my opinion, and I have been cutting out some fussy cuts, so I was like maybe it's nice to actually use those in the front of the journal. So, and here I am just placing the fuzzy cuts on my desk, so I have a bit better overview, and I'm just gonna lay them about to see which ones I like best. And yeah, so that's basically all I do. These are all from books that I own from thrift shops. Some of these images are from the paper pack that I got off Instagram. So yeah, these are just from old books, and I really like the green pocket with the white flowers, and the flowers below the little stem actually fit perfectly on the background paper, so it looks like it's belonged there, and yeah, I just like that a lot. So I just keep messing about, placing the items, and you know, just the usual stuff. I hope you all are enjoying this series so far. I surely am. I have been inspired by many YouTubers to do little projects that belong inside the folio. And this week I was inspired again, but this time I was inspired by Kyra Pace. And I will talk more about later in the video when I actually start working on that project. For now, I'm just messing about with the flowers still. This took me quite a while. I don't know what it is, but when it comes to decorating, I'm very slow, and I really hope that someday I will be better at that. Like, make up your mind, you know, it's fine, just do it. But yeah, I'm just very picky, I guess. So I'm gonna ink the edges, but because they are a bit fragile, I am doing it very carefully. I decide to lay them down on a piece of paper and just carefully rub the dauber over, like, I don't know how to say that in English properly. Well, it's not really, yeah, I don't know how to explain. It's just that I'm doing it very carefully, let me say it like that. Especially when the flowers are cut, like when they have like little stuff coming out that are very thin cut, then, you know, be careful with that. Place your finger on top, make sure that you don't rip it, stuff like that, because that would be a shame, because you only have one of the images. I mean, I have, so I don't have any doubles, I think. Well, a few pages from the Reader's Digest book, but these are not from the Reader's Digest book. And I also made a new dangle. I really wanted a sturdier one, because the one I had was literally falling apart, and it wasn't all that. So also the colors aren't really me. I'm not really into pink, to be honest, or gold. I do use it sometimes, but yeah, it's not my color. So I went for a dangle with some blues and green tones, because turquoise is my favorite color. And yeah, I actually really like this dangle, and I was lucky that I was even able to make this, because my bead collection is very small. I don't have a lot of stuff, but I managed to make at least one dangle, so that was nice. I did order a few things for making not really dangles, but more like charms off of Temu, so I'm waiting on that package. I will do another Temu video once it arrives. It will take a while, probably a week or two or something. But yeah, then I can also make more journal jewelry or dangles or charms, however you want to call it. But yeah, I really want to incorporate that a bit more in my journal, so I thought that would be fun. I end up sticking down these 4 images, and I really like how it's turning out, because I didn't really have a lot of inspiration for the decorating. I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna put here, because they're long shapes, long rectangles, and it's all the stuff that I had was more wide than this, the labels and stuff like that. So I end up going with the fuzzy cuts, but that's fine because I got them especially for this project, and yeah, I should choose them, right? So that's fine. I end up using a few of those Tim Holtz number strips. I really love that packet. I use it so much. I guess I'll be buying another one if I'm running low, because these are ones that you can use anywhere. So I definitely recommend number snippets, I believe, from Tim Holtz. So I picked out 2 to use. Also, sorry if you can hear my doggy move about. She's a bit, I don't know. She's a bit restless. She has that a lot sometimes. And then she starts walking around. But we have wooden floors, so you can actually hear her walk. She's sitting next to me now, and I'm giving her ear rubbies. Hey, Hazel. Oh, she's such a sweet girl. She's almost 11. Yeah, it's her birthday in March, so almost. And yeah, I'm just rummaging through my collection or through my stash to see what I want to use. And I end up using one of those tickets from 49 in Market. I'm obsessed with these tickets. I have them in green as well. And then I'm also looking through my postage collection to see if I have a nice postage stamp. And I got those Botanical ones of Instagram as well, like one of those thrift shops. And I end up using one of those. I'm also gonna move around my stamps. I have this, I don't know how you would call it, I guess an ephemera holder or a label holder. I made it with plastic stickers, which look like the vintage postage stamps albums, but these are sturdier, and shorter, so they're not ideal 100%. Once you start using them, or once I started using it, I was like, yeah, it's too wide. The stuff isn't really snug in there, so it still moves about a bit, but I'm very happy with the folder nonetheless, because I don't have much space in my craft room. But I'm actually gonna put the stamps in that holder, and then I'm gonna put the number strips in this little container. So I am doing a little bit of moving about, and I'm not sure if you will see that folio thing in this video, to be honest, but I think you might have seen it already in another video. I'm not sure, to be honest, but that's just my way of storing small labels. And here I'm just gonna roughen up all the edges of the ephemera that I chose, and I'm gonna ink around all of those. And I'm also gonna use a bit of cheesecloth that I coffee dyed, and then I'm just gonna assemble it and put it down where it's supposed to go. I hope you guys don't mind me rambling sometimes. Well, not really rambling, but like on a loss for the right words, probably. Sometimes I just, I have that when I speak Dutch as well. I'm just looking for words. I don't know how to say things. Talking is really hard for me. I don't know why. But yeah, I hope you guys don't mind. I'm sorry if you do. I cannot help it. I really, really like how this is turning out. The decorations really finish it off. It's yeah, I love it. Also, by the way, working on this project for the video today, I suddenly got a bit like insecure, because mainly in the last video as well with the file folder and stuff, I get inspired by other YouTubers so much, which is a good thing. But then I was like, yeah, aren't my videos more like copying what others do? you know that, yeah, you know how your mind starts saying things to you that are not really true. I mean, I'm not copying anyone. I'm just applying techniques and make it my own, you know, and I need to constantly remind myself for that, because I don't know, I tend to be my worst own critic, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. But that's something that actually make me quit a lot of things, because I just couldn't wrap my head around it, that it's okay to, you know, you cannot be unique. It's almost undoable to be unique. And the way you are unique, I think, in this craft is how you decorate the bases. I think the bases are there for everyone to use, and I mean, you can only make so many pockets, right? So, for example, and yeah, I think what makes us unique is the way that we decorate, or, you know, stuff like that. Maybe I'm not sure if I'm saying the right things right now. If I'm not, I'm sorry, but I'm still very new to this craft. I've only been doing it for 5 months, and I'm still learning a lot. And yeah, I struggled a bit. That's why it maybe took a bit longer for this video to come out than usually, because I actually didn't craft a lot the past 5 days, I think. But yeah, I it's something that I need to remind myself of, that it's not a thing to be unique. It's just a hobby, and you need to keep it fun. And maybe my videos aren't really tutorials, but they're more like craft with me, you know, stuff like that. So it's fine. I'm gonna try to let it go. But yeah, anyway, I started working on the front of the folio, and I cut out this label field notes from the new kit of Sevenplaza, which is called Field Notes. I purchased the kit, and I use this label for it. I will link the kit down below. Definitely check it out. She made a beautiful folio with the kit, so I will try to link that video as well. Check it out, because it's amazing. But yeah, she's one of my biggest inspirations, honestly. Yeah, she's a wizard, I'm telling you. But yeah, that's also things like when I see big YouTubers like that are so incredibly creative. Also Kyra Pace, those are my biggest inspirations, I think. When I see them create, I'm like, damn, I could never come up with something like that, you know what I mean? And then that's when the frustration hits me. But then I'm like, okay, do not do that. Do not ruin your own creativity, and just enjoy the process. And it doesn't matter. I don't have to be a genius. I just have to enjoy what I do. You know, that's I need to keep myself reminding that. And do you guys struggle with that too sometimes? Like that you get a blockage because of what others make, and you feel like they are so much better than you? Let me know in the comments how you deal with stuff like that. Now it's finally time to head on to the inside of the folio. And when I was looking at it, I was like, oh my god, this is part 5, and I'm not even halfway of the entire project. This is taking a long time. But yeah, I mean, when I made the folio for myself, the first one, the Lapbook, it took me about 100 hours. I'm not joking. So yeah, this project is big. It's big, so it's gonna take a while. And I chose some papers this is from green papers from Wildflower Publishing. And I'm also using the papers from the subscription kit from Pink Monarch prints. And I will try to link everything down below. And yeah, I'm just gonna tear them to size with my ruler. And then I'm just gonna attach them all. This is a pocket, one of 2, because I have the same pocket on the other side of the folio, and both of them will be decorated the same exact way. I'm gonna cut papers to size, and I'm gonna glue papers on the inside of the envelopes as well, because the pockets are big and you can see what's inside, and because they are blue, it doesn't really fit. So I want to decorate the inside as well, and it also adds to more thickness, so the envelopes will be way more sturdy that way. And I do that for both of these flaps. I glue everything down with some glue sticks, and I ink around all the edges, and I then check to see if there are loose corners or something, and then I will glue those down with art glue glitter glue. I love glue stick because you have a lot more time to wiggle things around or even take it off if it's necessary. And then I'm cutting a tiny little strip off so that I'm sure that everything is the same size, and then I'll re-ink that and glue the pocket shut with some art glitter glue. I really love that dangle. It's heavy though, it's way heavier than my old dangle because I made that with string instead of chain. But yeah, I really love it. I'm happy that I made one. So now I decorated both the sides, and I also did some sewing around the edges. Oh, I didn't decorate both sides. Yeah, oh yeah, that was intentional. I want to cover up the stitching on the inside. So I'm going to place the paper on top of it, because sometimes when you stitch thicker pieces, I find the back stitching not to be that nice, and I knew I was gonna get irritated by it, so I decided to, you know, cover it with other papers. And that's what I'm gonna do now, and I think I'm also gonna decorate the other pocket. No, yeah, I think so. And here you can see how I do it for the inside. I basically just stick the paper in, mark it, cut it to size, and then continue by using the same steps as, you know, this is I always use these steps. I really hope this is not boring for you guys, but I asked a few times in the comments, and most of you tell me that you like seeing the process, so I'm just gonna continue it. Both pockets are done now, and this is actually where I start my project for this video, which is going to be a vellum framed pocket. It's gonna have a frame on both sides of the envelope. I marked down where I wanted the pocket to be, and I cut two pieces of craft cardstock to size, and then I'm going to cut out the frames. I think my actual frame is 3/4 of an inch wide. I believe so, because yeah, 3/4 of an inch. I tried 1 inch. Wait. Oh, that's centimeters. Yeah, it's like 2.5 centimeters. But use your own measurements, people, because you know, you can use whatever measurements you want for this. But yeah, this project was heavily inspired by Kyra Pace from her recent video. She made a lovely pocket with something inside. We're gonna do that too, and yeah, that inspired me to start making my own. I already had it in mind because I already had printed stuff on Vellum for this project, so it's not that I was, you know, I was already planning to do something with Vellum, but then I saw that video and I was like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do as well. So here we go. I'm just gonna collage around the edges of the frames. I'm using some vintage paper scraps, some tea-dyed scraps, and some scraps from the papers that I'm using throughout this kit. And I'm just gonna decorate the frames, just gonna collage around. I'm inking all the pieces, and yeah, I didn't want to really film this entire part because I try to keep my videos around the half-an-hour mark. But yeah, so just let me know if you want to see longer videos or if this is fine for you. I mean, this is not rocket science, right? It's just collaging. But yeah, I'm inking around all the edges, and I'm doing that on the outside edges, but also the inside edges of the frames. And I believe I'm gonna do a bit of sewing then as well. But I think I'm gonna place the vellum first, and for the other frame I'm gonna use a piece of paper. Oh yeah, I have this vintage flowers cut out book from Callico Collage. I got it off of Amazon, but I believe she has digital printables as well, and I've cut out a few small vintage flowers which I'm gonna use for decorating the frames as well. And I'm also gonna look for some labels, bits and bobs, maybe do some stamping, you know. I'm just gonna keep decorating the frames. And then I'm going through my Tim Holtz snippets to see if I can find some smaller decorations. I love these snippets. It's not just a snippet pack, by the way. There's also tiny things from other packs in there, but honestly, I have no idea which sets are in there. It's just all the small stuff from all the ephemera packs that I own. And here I'm going to see if I can do some stamping, and I'm using field notes from Tim Holtz. But I noticed, and it started to, here you see it, the big circle fell out. And this is something that happens to me a lot with the stamps. They fall out, and it's annoying as, it's really annoying me. And then I saw a video of, I think it was Tony. I forgot what her channel name is, but Tony, I think you guys know her. She's one of the bigger YouTube channels as well. I think it's Crafts by Tony or something. But she was doing a video and she was stamping, and she actually took out the frame of the stamp set and just left the stamps alone by themselves. And I was like, that is smart. So I actually end up doing that as well, because it's annoying me that all the stamps fall out as soon as I touch it. I don't know why that is actually, but they just don't stick that well when I push them inside the frame again. So yeah, I don't know if you guys are experiencing the same thing or not, but yeah, I decided to just get rid of the frame from the stamp set. And I'm also gonna see if I can use some eccentric stamps. And I'm using a bit of the red. Let me see if I can find what name that is. I'm using Versifying Clair, and the red is Chianti or Chianti. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but yeah, that's the color. And I really love it. It's like a deep red, like a wine red. And then I'm gonna do a bit of sewing on the edges. And now I'm gonna check to see which piece of vellum I want to use. I have 2 pieces already print out, and I end up going for this part because it's a bit more grungy, and I do want to add a tiny bit of grunge. Excuse me. And now I'm checking to see which image I want to use for the other frame, and I end up going with one of the green images. And then I'm gonna see how I'm actually gonna attach these. But I end up gluing the pieces each to their own frame. And I'm just gonna glue it down with a bit of art glitter glue. I'm not using much because I don't want to spread the glue towards the inside of the frame. And now I'm going to attach these both to the actual envelope. I cut the frame of the envelope a little bit bigger so that you won't see the envelope through the pocket. If that makes any sense. Yeah, so this frame, like the frame itself is a bit thinner. The window is bigger. So now that I glue it on, you don't see the envelope. Now, of course, this is going to be a pocket, so I'm actually going to use a tiny bit of tape on the frame from the envelope on the inside so that nothing gets stuck when I put something inside. And that's behind this frame. You don't see that, but just tape it a bit so that you don't get anything stuck. So that's the frame done, and I'm actually really liking how it's turning out. Sorry for my voice is going. And then I decide to make a journal card. I'm choosing some papers from the Pink and Monarch prints Botanical pockets. And I chose 2 that are a bit neutral because I want space for writing. Not that I do any writing, but you know, it's the idea that counts. And sometimes it's also nice to do some things that are a bit more neutral. So I'm just gonna cut them both to the same size. I always like to do that, and ink around the edges. And I'm using scorched timber. Also gonna do some stenciling and some splatter stamping, and I'm using frayed burlap for that. And then I'm using the Kathy Holden stamps, sign here, I think it's part 1. I'm just seeing if there's a few stamps that I can use. And I'm using the same red ink again, and I'm also gonna use Fallen Leaves. And I'm stamping on the top side of the card because I want the card to stick out of the pocket a bit. That's what Kyra did in her video, and that was something that really inspired me. Like, make something that sticks out a bit so you have more decorating actually, because normally when I make journal cards, I make sure that they fit exactly inside the pocket, and then I was like, yeah, why not? That's really smart. It's such a simple thing, but so effective. So I was like, yeah, I really want to incorporate that in my folio as well. So that's why I'm only stamping on the top side. Well, not only, but specifically on the top side of the card intentionally so that it sticks out. And then I'm using a bit of this vintage measuring thing, and I'm cutting off just a small piece to use as a tag, or a pull tab. I don't know why, but I keep calling tabs tags, and I'm also, what was it, the other one that I used to do? I call everything tags, but they're not tags. I don't know why I do that. But yeah, this tab goes on the journal card, and I'm gonna do some sewing as well. And I really like how it turned out. I believe I'm gonna do a bit more stamping. No, not stamping, but decorating. And I'm gonna use some Tim Holtz stuff. And I'm just gonna rummage through the tins to see what I want to use. And then I'm also gonna see if I can find a few small snippets. I'm gonna distress the edges with my nails and then just ink around them. I'm working a bit more zoomed in right now. I also would like to know if that's something you like better, because normally I try to zoom out as much as I can, but working up close might be a bit better so you guys can see the details better. Let me know in the comments if, yeah, what you prefer basically. And if you're wondering why that piece of paper is behind my ephemera, it's because I have this big, I think it's a photo book, and I used to use a tape runner at the back of my bigger ephemera pieces and then just stick them in there, because you get a better overview of what you actually have. And I've been using that for a while. I will talk a bit more about this in the next video, because then you will actually see me use it. But that's why there's pieces of paper on the back side of some of my ephemera, because then I have taken it out. And that's actually the end of the video, and I really hope you enjoyed this little project. I really love how the pocket turned out, and the journal card as well. And yeah, then I will see you in the next video with part 5. Bye!